You feel this nervousness on the phone there?
Sir, I've been trying to make an urgent phone call up there.
Well, I don't think it's something I want to do on an overseas phone.
You gotta make some phone calls. Hang up the phone. Prank caller. Prank caller.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to Packernet After Dark. This is the call-in show of the Packernet Podcast Network. If you'd like to call in, if you'd like to participate in the show, please feel free to do so. The phone number here is 608-501-0718. New callers go directly to the front of the line. We don't have any new callers today, so let's get started with Drew.
Hey, Ron, it's Drew from Green Bay. And to put the Josh Jacobs thing, it's been a while since I called in, so just, I think that it's unlikely that we would be forced to cut him or move on from him or have him removed from the team. But, legal situations take a long time to go through. Investigations take a long time. The lawyer will probably slow roll it and just kind of like looking into it, like, the fact that the accuser and everything was saying that, there's some evidence, there must have been some evidence there for him to get arrested. But now he's saying he's got evidence that shows that he's innocent. So, and they haven't charged him yet. I think the longer they go without charging him, the better. And the more likely that, he's innocent. And I'm sure something happened, but, maybe she had a video and images or whatever, and then maybe he's got something that happened before that. You never know on stuff like that. But even if he was found guilty, there's still like work release and things like that. And, if we don't have a lot of options, I think that we can still try to use them this year and then move on after the year if it's that bad. But if we want to keep him, I think that the opportunity will be to have him on the field this year. And I'm going to hang up and call back about the sweat stuff.
Yeah, I'm choosing not to speculate, but you're right. It is, it's kind of I guess it's somewhat unusual. Usually it's, I don't know, here's what happened, and then boom, 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 things kind of move faster. This one seems to be a little bit slower moving. Breaking: Russell Wilson is retiring from the NFL. That's not surprising, considering, didn't we just say that he's going to be signing with CBS or something? So I think that makes sense. Anywho, Drew, part two.
Hey, it's Drew from Green Bay, part two. So about the Josh Sweat stuff, I was watching Easton Butler yesterday, and he said that basically he was at like a 40-60 that we would get him, and now he's at like a 50-50 that we'll get him.
Basically, by the way, that dropped to zero. Ian Rapoport tweeted out saying he's not being traded, period. It's not going to happen. Specifically named the Packers as a team that he is not going to, but he is one of 31 other teams that he will not be going to.
Now that Myles Garrett got traded, and the thing is like I was looking at contracts and all that, and he's about the same age as Rashawn Gary, and Rashawn Gary's contract was cheaper. Now his PFF grade is a little better. He had 12 sacks instead of 7. He's a little higher pass rush, a little better overall grade, like 74 instead of 68. Rashawn Gary was slightly better in run defense, but not enough to matter. And so, we got a fourth for Gary, but most of that's contract. So if we have to pay the full contract, now since it's post June 1st, the $2 million, it's about a $2 million option that is going to get paid by Arizona. So that makes it a little easier. But
I'll tell you what, I think we're just going to stop it here because, again, as far as speculation goes, it sounds like it's completely off the table, so we don't really need to speculate on that one. I was on board with the trade, but it sounds like it. Now, we could open up discussions about maybe some other people. I know AJ Epinesa was talked about at some point, and, it's not to say that the Packers have not begun exploring options. It just sounds like Arizona probably is completely unwilling to move on from the guy. So we'll probably just leave that for now. Liz, what's going on?
Hi, Ryan. I just listened to your podcast. Oh, I forgot. I'm sorry. This is Liz up in upstate New York.
Hello.
I just listened to your podcast about how boring the Packers offseason has been and how flashy everything should have been. And I'm going to make the argument that we've done something that is not very Packer-ish this year. And I would actually consider it to be splashy. So jump in the pool with me here. We signed the number one kicker in the draft.
There you go.
What lost us games last year? I mean, aside from injuries, they happen. What lost us games? Kicks. How many games did we lose by a kick? 2 kicks. Extra point, right? So, or even tied games because of missed kicks. So we actually improved ourselves, assuming this guy is good. He's the number one kicker in the draft. And how did we do that? Flashy move. We gave up our 7th round and took him in the 6th. So I'm just going to throw that out there. There's a little mini splash. Yes, this guy hasn't proved himself yet, but to take a number one, we don't have the number one. We don't have a first-round pick. We haven't been bad enough to get a good first-round pick in a long time. So to take a number one quarterback or number one this or number that, we got the number one kicker. There's our splash. Anyways, have a great day. Talk to you soon. Bye.
I'm going to stand on what I said as far as just hating the term itself. So no matter what we do, I will refuse to admit anything to do with splashiness. But I will say that it counts for something. It is as being a relative big swing, especially when you cut your kicker. It becomes a pretty big move, and it is an important position. I'm not going to award. I'm never going to say splash, but I won't award any splash points either until he stops sucking at kicking, because apparently the opportunities we've had to see him have been pretty rough. And the first time I think he made all his kicks, or he missed maybe one, but he also was kicking from like inside of the 40 every time. And then this past time he had to go out and kick, and it was pretty bad. It was a very windy day, but that's what happens in Lambeau Field. So I'm not saying anything. I'm just temper your expectations is all I'm saying, I guess. But fair enough, Liz. We'll call that if I'm refusing to say splash, what could I say? Something else. I'll think of something else. But I will never say splash. Only to mock. Only to mock.
Hey Ryan, this is Aaron. I'm just calling because I got some really exciting news that I had to share. So I just started my new job as a journalist for a major.
No, you're not. Shut
sports
your mouth.
Network, right?
Shut your mouth.
Talk about job security. But yeah, I just started this job. I'm super excited. Oh. It's weird though, because when I went to school for this, it was mostly about how to write and how to properly report on things.
Yeah.
But the meetings and stuff that we've had to go to are don't hang out with head coaches in a leisurely way. Stuff like that. I guess I don't know.
It's important, I guess.
I don't know what that's all about. Don't hang out. Don't go to the pool with head coaches. I don't know.
Stop splashing.
For some reason,
coaches.
That's what we're being taught nowadays. But you know what? Cool. I got my dream job. I'm super excited for it. But my first assignment, weirdly enough, with the Myles Garrett trade that went down yesterday, I have to report on how that makes Caleb Williams even better. I'm gonna have to do some research. Wait, hold on, just a second. I'm getting a call from my work phone here. This is my personal phone. Yeah, just a second. Hello? Yeah, this is Aaron. What up, boss? Oh, I'm being laid off? Oh. That's cool. I mean, I've also got an offer for Ask Jeeves Sports. Oh, okay. You're cool. Okay. No, that's cool. I don't mind being laid off. I thought cool. Okay. Anyways, bye, boss. Thanks for letting me know. Anyway, Ryan, so job security at this major sport network is not exactly what I thought. But I'm excited for my. Wait, hold on. That's my Ask Jeeves phone. Wait, Ask Jeeves doesn't exist? This is
it does.
a call from Nigeria. What? Oh, gosh. Anyways, okay. Yeah. So, yeah. Anyways, that's what that is. Job security, national sports. Bye.
That was great. That was good stuff. We need more acting in these calls. It also gave me the idea of a commercial. Maybe we'll do a commercial today. Aaron, I don't think you ever gave me permission, but this may be a ask for forgiveness instead of perfect permission kind of a situation. How are we at with time here? Because we got 3 Nicos. Let's take a break now. We'll come back and get to the 3 Nicos.
If you or a loved one has recently been laid off from a major sports news outlet such as Yahoo Sports, CBS Sports, or Bleacher Report, you may be entitled to compensation. For years, these dedicated professionals provided an important public service. They worked tirelessly to bring you the latest updates on which players were unhappy with their contracts, which coaches were reportedly on the hot seat, and whether this was finally the year the New York Jets would turn things around. Now, through no fault of their own, many of these writers find themselves unable to perform the work they were trained to do. Work that included crafting thoughtful headlines such as, "Sources say tensions are high," and "You won't believe what this star posted on Instagram." Medical professionals have identified several symptoms commonly associated with this type of sudden unemployment, including a persistent feeling that no one is properly sourcing their information anymore, difficulty sleeping due to the knowledge that somewhere a listicle is being published without proper editorial oversight, a deep sense of loss stemming from no longer being able to write, "This changes everything," beneath a photograph of a quarterback drinking a protein shake. If you or someone you care about is experiencing any of these symptoms, you may qualify to participate in a class action lawsuit against the companies that let these valuable professionals go. Compensation may be available for lost wages, emotional distress, and the profound sense of purpose that can only come from generating 14 variations of the same take on LeBron James before lunch. Don't wait until it's too late. The statute of limitations on these claims is shorter than most people realize. Call the number on your screen right now to speak with a qualified representative who can help determine whether you or your loved one may be entitled to a financial recovery. Because no one should have to face the future without the ability to write "breaking" in front of a sentence that isn't actually breaking. Call today.
Well, hopefully you non-ad skippers enjoyed that one. Nico, what's going on?
Hey, Ryan, this is Nico
Howdy.
from Potato Ho.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I can't stop laughing. I guess I called that one, right? I told Uncle Rico to call in and don't hold back. No, Uncle Rico, I want to thank you for making my day. I don't normally like finger talk, but
Jeez. Please don't.
What can
Don't
I say?
elaborate.
It's funny. So yeah, thank you for brightening my day and making me cry a little when I'm driving down the road. Sorry about that, Ryan.
People are sick.
As far as the potatoes go, you are correct. I mean, you're not correct as in I am not a potato farmer.
I see.
But I do
apologize.
consume potatoes.
So good.
I'll tell you one thing I did was, now I know you don't like vegetables, but I think of all the vegetables, except maybe a portobello mushroom, which I'm sure you hate.
Yikes.
Because I can make a portobello mushroom taste like a ribeye.
Oh, I'm sure.
I know, maybe you don't believe that, but it's true.
Yeah, definitely
but
true.
a potato, I think, is the most that's not right. That's not a word. It's like one of the best vegetables because it does kind of go everywhere. And obviously, who doesn't like French fries, right? French fries just cut up potato. So here's what I did for the
Potatoes aren't vegetables, and I know that, and I can prove that very simply. They taste good.
the wifey wife. Although, let me preface that recipe with this. Do you own a griddle in your backyard?
No, Never invested in
I don't know
one.
if you've ever mentioned it. I know you say you got a barbecue, you got like a Coleman 50-count thing. I think you got it. I know you.
It's one of the things where if I were to add to the collection, griddle might have to be next. I just it's kind of the one thing that's missing outside of an actual, stick smoker type of a thing. Which I mean that's retirement. Kids are out of the house, sitting in the backyard, kind of a deal. I don't see that anytime in the near future.
Smoker, because you've smoked stuff. I don't know if you just do it with your Coleman with like the snake method in a circle, which I always wanted to try because it seems really cool. I used to have an old smoker. It was my first one that just had like a little side panel that I would put charcoal in it, and it was amazing. It was, however, very time consuming. I had to go check that like every 45 minutes because it would go up to 400 degrees or down to 150. And it was hard to maintain the temperature.
Mm-hmm.
Because you had like there's like a barrel with a little side barrel,
Yep.
It was also very small. So I had like hot spots in the smoker section, so I had to like constantly move the pork shoulder or whatever I was smoking around. Now I have an electric one, so much easier. But so I don't know if you have like a Blackstone. I don't like saying Blackstone because that's the company, not the part.
Sure, I know what you mean.
I have a Camp Chef in my backyard. I love it.
Camp Chef's good.
I really got mine. It's a little
them.
more expensive, but I like it because the legs fold up. So I can throw it in the back of a truck, boom, and the griddle pops right off, comes right off, makes it really easy to, transport. And I have moved it around. I've moved around and done stuff. I've brought it out, like making tacos out in the parking lot. It was awesome.
That was actually 3 minutes right there. I do have a smaller griddle that I use in my kitchen. Fantastic for tacos. But it's a freaking pain because it like barely fits in its area and it always I lose the cord all the time. And then I have to make shelves or counter space. And once it's set up, it's great. I will make tacos all day, every day. But it's smaller and, it's like it's a better pan, I guess. It's kind of like if you had 3 pans that, without the whatever. It's, but yeah, a backyard, very large griddle would be fantastic. Probably should have invested in one by now because especially with a bigger family to just make up a bunch of eggs or make up a bunch, pancakes, dude. We love pancakes around here and it's kind of stupid to make so few at a time. Be nice to just make a giant batch and you just pretty much do them all at once. Throw some hash browns, throw some eggs on there. You know what I mean? Like I just should have invested in that, but I didn't, and that was a mistake. And so such is life, you know what I mean? But if I ever, maybe someday. Let's just leave it at that.
I was not paying attention to the time, so I don't know where it caught out.
That's all right.
But if you don't have a griddle in your backyard, Ryan, you need to get one.
I know.
You can't say they're too expensive because I bet you I could find one for you on Facebook Marketplace. So like Blackstone, the company, has like a $200, one that comes on a stand. I think it's a 2-burner.
Mm.
They're $189, $210 usually everywhere. I found one on Facebook Marketplace for like $90 that I brought to my shop.
Yeah.
So I could cook burgers and tacos and bratwurst for all the guys, stir fry. So if you don't have one, Ryan, you have no excuse. Because I can tell you this. And people might disagree with me, but I don't care. If I could only have 2 things in my backyard, it would be a smoker and a griddle of some type. So, get one, right? I don't know if maybe we should start a griddle fund on that website that raises money for people. I forget what it's called.
Yeah.
GoFundMe. Maybe Ryan needs a GoFundMe for a griddle, right? So anyways, talk about potatoes. So I took this potato and the nice, sweet Idaho one you talk about. There's a place where I live where you can get potatoes. You can get fries from like 9 different brands of potatoes. It's kind of phenomenal.
I would assume so.
They make a ketchup with blueberry in it, and you think that's gross. That's what I thought. They have like 9 different types of ketchups. I thought that's disgusting, and I tried it. I'm like, oh, actually, it's amazing. Sorry.
I never considered that. Like, so Idaho is like, again, that's all I know about. I'm not trying to be, it's what people say about Wisconsin and cheese. I'm not, trying to disparage it. It's freaking dope. But I never considered the secondary ramifications of being like the potato capital of the world is that you are also the ketchup capital of the world. So I dig that. Maybe that's why, by the way, because I think one of the underrated. I've said already that Wisconsin really not very good for food. Now that there are definitely exceptions, but in terms of being like food capital of the world type of thing, no, it's not. Like Illinois is better. As much as I talk trash, and I say Illinois, not Chicago, because I grew up in Illinois, and Illinois, whatever. Chicago's included, I suppose, but. One of the things that I think is massively underrated in Wisconsin that I've said before is burgers. They are, first of all, like Culver's is, if it's not the best fast food burger, it's up there, and that's a Wisconsin chain, but there's other places too, like Kopp's Burgers are unbelievable. Solly's Burgers are incredible. Oscar's, the place that just, they burned down but rebuilt recently. Oscar's has some really good burgers. Just Wisconsin does burgers pretty well. Anyways, I wonder if it's just a consequence of being a cheese place. Is what are you gonna do with the cheese? Make burgers. That's what you do. So we got burgers and cheese, and you got ketchup and fries, dude. That's the ultimate alliance right there. Idaho and Wisconsin. We should form an alliance against Illinois. Just dominate.
I know that, but
I don't know what that
so
means.
You boil
but we
these
should.
little potatoes.
Okay.
Right? So they're like, fork soft. You know how that is.
Sure.
I guess you could bake them too, but boiling is so much faster.
I always do air fry. It seems unnecessary. I used to do microwave because that was perfectly fine. It happens quick. I'll be honest, I've never boiled a potato. Just because, again, microwave. And then the biggest thing with the air fry, when I initially did it was because it's supposed to get crispy skin. I don't really care about the crispy skin. Doesn't make that big of a difference to me. It's kind of nice because you can pick it up, and it doesn't like fall apart, but it just becomes like a little bowl that you eat. Honestly, though, the biggest reason that I air fry now is because it takes like an hour and I can just walk away. So it just spaces out. So I get my meals for the day. It's like eat potatoes, wait an hour, go upstairs, pop potatoes in, wait another hour for it to cook. And now it's like 2 hour gaps. Potatoes are like 0 calories basically. It's like 100 per potato. It's not a big deal. You could eat like a bag of potatoes. It's like 2,000 calories. You know what I mean? I'm not eating a whole bag of potatoes. I'm just saying. But anyways, that's usually why I do that. But I should branch out and try some different things like boiling.
So it makes a moist. Then you take them on your griddle.
Okay.
Which if you don't have, you need to get. I cannot say that enough.
Sure.
You flatten them down to about, half an inch thick, however, what you want, And then you use butter liberally. Don't dick around with butter. Don't mess around with butter.
Did you miss the part where I'm from, Wisconsin? I put obscene amounts of butter on everything.
Years ago, I saw Gordon Ramsay on a show cooking eggs. And it's like a morning show. Mm-hmm. And they got the little table set up, and they flop as the lady's talking, he's flopping butter in the pan. And after like a third dollop of butter, she's like, "Is that too much butter?" He's like, "You can never eat too much butter." And that's true.
Yep.
Eggs.
He must have learned from the French. I've always, as an American, there's kind of that rivalry thing. Screw the French, they're stupid. The French are kind of, listen, number one, again, we wouldn't have a country without them. Number two, their food obsession, which a lot of, Italians and Mexicans, and there's a lot of people that are big on their food, and I respect the hell out of that. And they all have their thing. But the French, I always thought of them as just like, okay, they make bread and croissants, and that's cool and whatnot, but their obsession with butter alone is cause for some level of respect. There's a guy, what is his name? Chef Jean-Pierre, I think, on YouTube. I love that guy. I think he might have retired off of YouTube. I'm not sure. He took a break or something. But I freaking love that guy. He's Italian and French. I think his I don't know what his accent is. I don't remember. But the French part of him has him obsessed with butter. He makes his own butter. Everything is too much butter. You can never have too much butter. Never have butter. Yeah, I did a French thing. I'm not sure if he's French, but love it. I love watching that guy. He's funny as all get out, and he's just like, yeah, butter's dope, dude. You just put more. Everything's butter. Put more butter in it, makes it better.
Potatoes, steaks. You can never use too much butter.
Correct.
Butter is amazing. It makes everything better.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm paying attention. We're right at 3 minutes. So.
All right, Nico, part 3.
So you take these potatoes that you've boiled to their fork tender.
Yep.
You smash them on your griddle. And if you don't, before I had a griddle, I bought like a cast iron, like rectangular thing to put on there. That works, but it's just not as good.
I get it.
Plus, when they give a big old griddle, you can make a crap ton of pancakes in like 3 seconds.
I know.
You can make breakfast. It's
I
so
know.
much better. But anyway, you squish the potato down on your griddle. You add a bunch of butter, salt, pepper, garlic, whatever you like to season it with.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just kind of fry it like cake. Flip it over when it gets to you don't really have to cook it too long, just till it gets like a little crisp. Flip it over, add more butter, add more garlic, add more salt, pepper.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can smother it in, sour cream and cheese and everything. Or eat like that. It's amazing. It's like a fried cake,
Yeah.
But anyways, I thought I would add that in there. It's nothing proprietary. I've seen it done before, so I tried it. It's really easy. It's really amazing. Actually, last time I did that, I made my wife the fattest ribeye. It was so perfect.
Dude,
And she goes, I really like those potatoes. I'm like, oh, the 3-cent potato you love? How about that $30 ribeye? She liked that too. But anyway, go and eat more potatoes. Support my state. And get a griddle. If you don't have a griddle, maybe I'll get together with Uncle Rico. We'll make you a GoFundMe.
As long as he promises to wash his hands before he touches the griddle.
Hey, peace out, guys.
No, I do not have a griddle, and you're right. They are pretty cheap, and I get that. We are currently in the what else can we cut from the budget / sell phase of life. So even small amounts, I wouldn't even think to bring it up to my wife to be like, hey, you think I can buy one of these luxury items? There's no way. But again, things, life has its ups and downs, and, following the downs will be the ups. We just gotta be patient, ride the storm. And when that happens, first thing I might do is a friggin' punching bag, because I desperately want one of those. But second thing, and I saw one on Facebook. It was like $50, and I probably could have offered him like 30, and he probably would take it. He's right down the street from me. But anyways, then a griddle. After that is a griddle, and I will make copious amounts of pancakes and all kinds of good stuff. It's going to be great. But yeah, I appreciate that, and I forgot about the griddle stuff. Definitely would make my life easier, just because, again, everything... It just kind of completes the selection, because sometimes you're not feeling like smoking stuff. You just want to make something, and even like fish. We make fish a lot, and I usually pan fry the fish, although air fry is, I've learned, incredible. But even that, you can only do small batches. Just cook all the fish at one time, rather than like, okay, I can maybe cram 3 at a time on here. Stupid. Who's doing that? Why are you doing that? It's stupid. Anybody with a family of my size-ish, you should have a griddle. But I failed. Let's take a break, and then we got Kyle from Madison.
What's up, Ryan? Kyle from Madison.
What's up, dude?
I've been watching this Bears thing, right? As a Packers fan, I have to admit, the Bears end up on Indiana. I'm not gonna leave any sleep. But as a guy who himself, political, independent, not either here, I feel some strikes after fall here. I keep watching people this to like a Chicago Democrats screwed it up. And you're not gonna hurt my feelings. Criticizing Chicago Democrats. I don't care at all. But at the same time, I just saw this guy running for governor of Illinois on the Republican side, saying that there's already almost a deal on he wins, he'll do the deal. And I have to say, that feeling in me. And again, look, if you're on I don't care. Don't come at me with your tears about your side. I'm in the middle. I'm just following all sides. And I think it's really funny because this is like the opposite sides parties took not that long ago. And it got me thinking, about actually how interesting this whole thing is, because a lot of this, a lot of the politics, the drama surrounding things actually traces back to what happened around County around 2000, right? So let's just, this is super important because I don't hear it being talked about. So if you're old enough, remember the Wolves and Harlan, they just came off back-to-back, so 1-1, lost one, and the Packers are one of the most famous popular teams in the NFL. Far pretty much going to prime. And yet they're sitting there going, my God, we're not making enough revenue. They can bring in some NFL's headed. New stadium, luxury boxes, clubs, all the different revenue streams that we now understand. But they were some of the first teams that Green Bay is not going to be competitive. And I think a lot of this lore we're familiar with now is when Harlan, winning the whole thing, like after he retired, the Packers visited a lot of this, right? But the way it actually was down is way more interesting. It actually has a lot of what the Bears are going through right now. So they proposed roughly I think it was like $290 million for a Lambeau renovation. And they were going to do it through a temporary half-cent Brown County sales tax for about 5.5 years, right? They took the proposal from East County and then moved it from the county legislature. And the Republican legislature said yes, but we're going to do it contingent on vote by the Brown County voters, right? Hold on, I'm going to talk about some around the time, which is kind of interesting.
All right, Kyle, part 2.
Okay, so interesting though, okay? Just politics that was intersecting here. At the time of the vote, Tommy Thompson was the Republican governor, and they had both controlled both chambers of Wisconsin. And this was something that was always overwhelming. Like this was like 70 in an era of nothing existed, right? So the legislators
We live in an era when nothing goes.
they would get political coverage for tax. It's kind of against their platform. And they would put this for a referendum that they knew was going to win by 20 or 30 points. But the crazy thing, where my point goes here, and this should have been the easiest freaking joke in history. The average household, if I remember, it was like a couple hundred bucks. It was $500 for 5 years of the average household not paying taxes. But the financial implications, the economic implications for the household for a year at the time was like $5,000 of economic gain. I understand that that's difficult to quantify, and you can get your economic hat on, but it wasn't close. And that amount lowered the implications as long as the Packers were around, right? Every year. There's long. The thing was $500 for about 5 years. And this wasn't some random corporation or Packers. Some people have more worth in stock certificates hanging out at their house, paying taxes. And the crazy thing is, man, I remember this, like the conservative talk radio circuit and like the libertarian anti-tax got a hold of this issue. And they turned this freaking thing into a thing is whether taxpayer money should be for schemes. And that's not what was on the freaking ballot. Nobody voted for future of financing America. Or billionaires like get money from the public. It was literally just like you wanted to put $100 million into your scheme to secure the future of tax. That's what the vote was about. And it was just so ridiculous watching this happen. And then eventually, long story short, somehow that what should have been a 70-30 issue was 40-70-30 and turned into a knife fight. The thing passed 53-47. Imagine that. Brown County almost gambled away the greatest economic, cultural asset of your state on a half-cent increase in 5 years, right? But bringing it back to Chicago, a lot of politicians paid attention to that. They saw like Packers can't pass. The lesson is once you win the referendum, you have lost control. And politicians don't like that, right? That's why Michigan didn't have a referendum.
Part 3.
It's finishing my point. That's why all these states in the subsequent years didn't have referendums. All the legislative mechanics are the same for Minnesota and Michigan and Illinois. Wisconsin doesn't need to have a referendum either. Starting with Ford Field and then USA Stadium, and now in Illinois, there is no chance anybody would do what happened in 2000 because they saw what happened. So in a large part, I believe that, I'm sure there's people out there doing some, poli-sci research on this, but that was definitely a case study for politicians that want to take note of, because like I said, none of the other state legislatures did it ever done anywhere since then, because it was such a shock to the establishment. Maybe getting covered in the referendum, not worth throwing the baby out with the bathwater, when that's what you feel like you need a new stadium. So I just think it's interesting because bringing it to that, a lot of people decided to referendum. So I guess then, we can take some comfort in knowing that what happened in Brown County is helping to contribute to definitely some of the Bears' discomfort right now, the Bears, or whatever the hell they're calling. And it was a really interesting time in history. And I don't know, decide flip again or what, but I mean, the Packers only by now, the Packers had passed. Harlan are really careful not to make it sound like a threat. They were really trying in their PR to make sure it wasn't an ultimatum. But like I said, everybody knew what was at stake and they paid attention. And so more so it's a little bit of a situation. We're really two different states here, but it ultimately comes down to saving financing. I guess the Bears and the investors who gets the money that stadium creates. It sounds like that's at odds here just as much as to create the stadium itself, but at least in large part or a small part, we could add the misery in another way. And I thought I'd add that. It's an important part of the history of the team. So talk to y'all later.
Yeah, I haven't really delved into what all happened in the Packers situation outside of the discussion about Bob Harlan. Every situation obviously is different, and I haven't honestly looked that much into the Bears situation. I just like making fun of it. I guess I would say that I understand not wanting to publicly fund a stadium. I would mostly be scared of taxes becoming permanent. There would need to be, I don't know if there's any kind of mechanism to ensure that it can't be extended or something. I don't know, but at the end of the day, though, it is silly. First of all, to just look at it and through the lens of, well, they're billionaires, they can do it themselves. Not necessarily. Secondly, the cost benefit, like you had mentioned. I can't imagine. Could you imagine if it didn't pass, if the Packers went somewhere else? What would have happened to Brown County and Green Bay? And the Schwabenon and all that, what would that be right now? What would happen, by the way, to your home values? You know how much your home values have gone up being by Lambeau Field and now Titletown and all the developments that they've done around there and all the events like the NFL Draft, how much of an absolute boom that has been as compared to if that didn't happen, the place would turn into a freaking wasteland. I would like have a Ford factory to be shut down in your town. So I mean, you don't want to be beholden to the team, but as far as investments go, like you said, maybe you spend over 5 years $500. It is what it is. I mean, we're paying taxes for stupid crap out here, like libraries. We got $3 million for a library that nobody's ever going to. So stupid. All this bull crap out here we have to pay for it through taxes. I wouldn't spend in 5 seconds something like Lambeau Field. But as far as the Chicago situation, obviously it's not apples to apples in terms of how that goes. They have different reasons that are valid, I suppose. But I still stand on. I can't believe, especially like Chicago. I mean, if I'm Chicago, I understand being tentative. You know, it's funny because whether you're libertarian or conservative or liberal. Everybody kind of has their own reason to not liking giving to something like that. Obviously, the left side of things is very opposed to the rich, and we can't give them anything. And the right side is more anti-tax and all that. So we don't want to tax anybody. Everybody has to keep their money, but it's ultimately the same thing if we don't like it. But it still is so short-sighted. I mean, if I'm in charge of Chicago, it's the same thing with Green Bay. Things are going poorly. We're constantly upset about how all these grocery stores are leaving and all these things are leaving Chicago. It's turning it into a wasteland. What's going to happen to that area? There's still stuff in that area, but the Chicago Bears are adding quite a bit. And something like that leaving, I mean, there's a lot of jobs that are leaving. There's a ton of revenue that's leaving. All the restaurants, hotels, all the things in that area are going to massively suffer as a result of that. Some of them may end up having to at least cut staff, if not shut down. And I don't know what we're stuck on here, but we gotta work something out. The Bears to keep them. I've been shocked by Illinois in general has had a posture that is more don't care. We're not doing it. Which is maybe a little unfair because they've gotten close a couple times. But again, it seemed like they had a thing in Arlington Heights, and then I think it was the tax dispute as well as some other disputes where it's just like you're not paying us enough. Which even Arlington Heights, what a short-sighted thing. You go, well, you should have this additional tax. You understand how much this is going to help everybody just by being shut up. Shut your stupid mouth. I don't know. And again, I would take a posture that looks a lot more like Indiana. If it came to the Chicago Bears, just based on how much that's going to, we look at Hammond. It's like it's a grapple. You're gonna move to a grapple. Yeah, but that place is gonna develop pretty quick with the Chicago Bears. Would be my guess. I mean, if I'm still gonna make fun of them and smoke stacks and all that stuff, but it's gonna accelerate. I'm thinking pretty quickly. All right. Kyle, appreciate the call and the lesson on that. I'll have to look into the thing a little bit, but I think we'll leave it at that. You all have a great rest of your day. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.